talking about the iPhone 5. So if you haven't seen my last video, Android, people out there, it's the Samsung Galaxy S3. I think you'll enjoy it. I have a link around here, and also just keep watching this video. I'll have a link at the end too, so if you want to check that out. Also, guys, go ahead and thumbs up this video if you do like it. Really helps me out. Get involved, comment. I like to hear what you guys think about this phone. Maybe I'm wrong, completely wrong, and I want to hear why. And also subscribe if you're not subscribed, because you will get access to all my updates on all my videos. And follow me on Twitter at @OWNOSTECH. Alright, let's get to it now. So the iPhone 5, a lot of you have been hearing a ton of things about this, and you're just like, oh, what to believe, what to believe, what to believe. Well, I kind of compiled some information, and I really think this is, pretty accurate. So let's talk release date for this new iPhone 5. Now, I'm pretty sure they projected to release this around October, right around Steve Jobs' death date. They told, I believe in the UK, they told people who work for Apple, they were like, don't take off the first 2 weeks in October, be sure to save those days, and you can't have any holiday and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure the release date is going to be right around his death date, and that would make sense. It's a great way to commemorate Steve Jobs, who did so much for not only consumers, but the world. He changed the world, and it's just, a great way, but it's also a long time to hold out. That's, that's like 10 months away, and it's a pretty long time until we actually get the iPhone 5. But hey, that's a lot of time for them to put new things in there and make it a better phone. Now, I know that they were, Steve Jobs was totally against increasing the screen size on the iPhone 5. Now, this was because currently the iPhone 4, there's currently two different resolutions. So the iPhone 4S obviously is the higher resolution, and you still have like the 3G whatever going on there, and the lower resolution phones. So that pretty much means that the app developers really have an easy conversion between when they're developing apps. So they can develop, it's an easy conversion between the lower and the upper. And then the iPad, that's a whole nother, ball game they're playing with. So when they're making apps for that, so they'd like to stay in the same kind of field range of like making this new phone, because if they go ahead and just make different dimensions, aspect ratio, and what have you with the screen size, they're going to be, claimed fragmenting the iOS and stuff like that with the apps, and just making a lot of problems for app developers, and that's really not what Apple wants to do. So what I would expect, kind of a 4-inch screen size with this phone, and we're definitely going to see a form factor change, because you saw from the 3GS to the 4, completely, not completely different, but a form factor change indeed, and the 4 to the 4S was the same. So I would expect to see a form factor change in this phone. I don't really know if it's going to be more kind of Android-like, flatter, thinner, less of that kind of, rectangle, but it's definitely still going to kind of have a candy bar look to it. But also they're going to want to update a couple things on this phone. They're looking at a couple different processors that they're going to want to put on this. We have maybe like a quad-core processor. Once again, I could definitely see Apple putting a quad-core in this thing. My last video I talked about the Samsung Galaxy S3. Everybody's racing for that quad-core, and I think Apple will not be too far behind. Now to talk about what exact chip they would be using, I'm not really sure, because there's a couple different factors they're going to be including in that. But let's move on to some other things. Now, camera. This is something that a lot of iPhone users, a lot of artistic iPhone users out there who want to take pictures, and we're looking at maybe like a 10 megapixel camera. And I talked about in my last video about megapixels, guys. Megapixels really doesn't mean that much. It's more of like the resolution that your photos are going to be in. If you're doing large prints, resolution is great. You want to have a high resolution photos, so high megapixels is going to be great. But I would expect still a great increase in these cameras, with the colors and the noise reduction and all these other things, the lenses and stuff with these cameras. I want to go ahead and start updating all the cameras on this iPhone. And now, if they start updating and putting so much technology in there, it's going to disrupt the form factor. So they're going to have to find a way to still, make a great camera and not disrupt that kind of flat look, because there's some phones out there that have, that little hump to get over when they have the camera there. So they're going to hopefully have to get over that issue there. I would expect this thing to have the aluminum back on it, and totally capacitive. So it's, maybe I'm saying that wrong, but capacitive. So it's going to have literally no touch buttons, no, not that home button anymore. It's just going to be like almost like the Android phones, where it's just, just touch capacitive, exactly what it is. So, it's no physical buttons on that screen, which is going to be really cool, and I think, a lot of Apple users are really going to love that. But, something I really like to talk about too with this new iPhone is the battery life. there's going to be significantly less battery life on this thing. It just keeps getting worse and worse. And Apple used to be known for this, best battery life. Android's awful, and all the phones are just getting worse and worse. So I would really hope Apple, takes some consideration and really looks at their battery life and hopes to improve it. I really expect to see some 4G and LTE support on this phone because with all the rolling out of these networks, at&t and stuff like LTE. It's just people have their phones because they want to browse fast and they want to do things fast, and without LTE, support and stuff, it just wouldn't really make sense. Now, to get on to something else, actually, Apple recently acquired a company called at&t. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's like a flash storage company, and this is, hopefully what we'll expect to see. It's a great way to take all the other possibilities of competitors out of the race by buying out this company that provides flash storage, because now your phone can only have the flash storage. I'm sure there's other companies out there, but not nearly as advanced or as efficient as at&t has become, because they're a great company with that. So we would, hopefully expect to see some new storage capabilities on this phone. And what can that open up? Well, that can open up a couple different things. It can extend the battery life, increase the storage capacity, obviously, and give faster access to music and video. Also, you can have a thinner phone with this flash storage, and perhaps with the acquisition of this company, Apple will be able to provide it at a more reasonable price to consumers, so that people can afford this. So something really cool is that it can integrate with ARM system on chip design. So it's just one chip with this flash storage on it. It really makes sense. In all the bigger picture, it makes sense that Apple could do something like this. So I really think this is going to happen. That's really all I have to say about the phone. There's not too many specs that are at all confirmed about this phone. It's tons of speculation. So, let me know what you guys think. Like I said, get involved. Tell me what you think down in the comment section below. What do you think of this phone? What would you like to see on this phone? What would you like to not see on this phone? Do you think I'm completely wrong? What do you think I'm right about? Let me know, guys. I like to hear what you guys like to think. Subscribe, follow, like this video, all that good stuff. Check out my other stuff too. Take it easy, guys. Peace out.